Okay, so here's a rundown of how this is put together. I'm a little bit hasty putting it together, mainly because the design had to be worked out a bit. I've got an axe head here with one of those backhoe parts that I cut the sides off so that the barbells would fit over here. Now I think these are, oh gosh, what are these, 25 pound weight. So there's 50 pounds plus the weight of the clamps and the bar. The spring is taken care of. That spring is overcompensating for everything. I've got a triangular, you probably can't see this, but too much going around it, eh? Okay, so yeah, and it's got ends on it. It's a piece of steel all the way across with a cross beam there. It goes all the way down to here. And we want to anchor this one to the ground because, and at whatever height that makes it comfortable for this, depending on how high you want to be off the ground. So, and I just used a piece of scrap steel, you know, a huge piece of steel out here. And we've got a standard car helper spring that is bolted at both ends, bolted to the this is not going to work out so hot. Okay, so it's bolted to the main bar, which is a good solid, you know, 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, this is not the ordinary fence post. It's a bit thicker than the ordinary fence post. And I've got it bolted. The spring is attached. Piece of steel, hole in it, clamped in so that this end is free. You can see that it's free. There's no bar going all the way down. And then you do the same thing on the opposite end. Okay. And then you're using clamps to hold it down at the opposite end. I used a little piece of barbell at the bottom for the round at the bottom. And so then, and another piece of steel, it is attached to the back of this. By this bolt, and it's got a little bit of a play back and forth, going that way, a little bit of play this way, and used aluminum, cut some pieces of aluminum to create this. If I can show you this pivot. A hole in the bar, screw going all the way through, okay, and it just pivots on that spring. The clamps here, they're round like muffler clamps basically, are holding the sides together in so that it doesn't shift when it does its thing. And also, this bit I found out a little bit later was that as time goes on, the spring gets distended. The farther down it goes, Let me see. You can see that. Farther down it goes, it wants to shift. And that compensates for the spring's tension and the angle. Again, this is all, pretty something you need to figure out. This keeps that from bending over one way or the other, keeps the whole thing from falling one way or the other. It's all a matter of keeping it adjusted. If I need to sharpen the axe head, I take the clamps off, take the barbells off, take my handle off, which is, I've just made this basically just a piece of steel wrapped in, gosh, I just kept wrapping it. So I've got this nice comfortable handle so I don't wear my hands out. But once you've got the barbells off, you can take the bolt out. And by rights, I should probably have a second bolt in here. I'm still in the process of finessing it. I'd like to, and the more I use it, the more I find out what breaks and what's more important. And again, this thing is 50 pounds of kinetic energy coming down on a block of wood that if you catch it when it's wet, this oak will split nicely. Of course, when it dries, it tends to twist and makes it a little harder along the way. I did put a piece of concrete at the bottom underneath my platform here, which has split. So you can see how much energy we're putting into this. This is a pretty good size, about a 4-inch piece of concrete that I've been breaking into little bitty rocks based on the force. And gotta say, I could split a cord of wood in about an hour. You get nice wet wood, and doesn't take any gasoline, doesn't take any force. Nice. It's a good idea to wear safety glasses, but you don't really have to worry too much about having something fly in an opposite direction and break a shin or anything. Getting to the point where I'm wondering if I even need the axes anymore. You can chainsaw these into logs. Try not to get them too long so that they'll split just fine. And wow, next thing you know, you got you can even have an 80-year-old man out here doing his own wood splitting and not hardly break a sweat. So there you are.